What's up, folks? My name is Mark, and this is Mark's Movie Reviews. How you guys doing? So let's talk about the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So this is not really a review. I'm just I figure, I'm going to break these up and it's like there'll be actual movie reviews, and then there'll be like videos where I'm just kind of talking about a particular franchise and what I want to see. So this is one of those. So as I've said before on this channel, I'm a pretty big comic book fan, especially Marvel, although lately I've been kind of getting into the DC stuff because my fiance is like really, she likes Batman and shit like that. But growing up, I always liked Marvel, the most. In fact, the very first comic book I ever bought was this guy right here, which is Hulk number 340. And that one was, I have very fond memories of that, and it was Wolverine versus the Hulk, and it was illustrated by Todd McFarlane, and that issue is actually worth a little bit of cash now. If you get a chance to check it out, it was pretty awesome. So anyway, I've been a Marvel fan for 20 years now. Goddamn, almost. How long is that? A long fucking time. 1988. I don't know. It was a long time ago. And I'm very, very... One thing I really like about the movies is especially the Marvel Universe movies, is they're very faithful representations. They're actually, they update it just enough to make it, not silly, right? But they still keep what's good about the characters, and I fucking love it. So I love all the movies. I really liked the Hulk movie. The Hulk was always my favorite comic ever of all time. Was the Hulk? Probably the Hulk, and then second was Captain America, right? Because that was the second issue I ever bought in my life, was Captain America, and Iron Man and Thor and the Avengers. Those were like my top tier. I liked them even more than I liked the X-Men. Below them comes Wolverine, right? I'm a really big Wolverine fan and also a big Spider-Man fan. I've probably got 100 issues of Spider-Man back there across 20 years. Probably more, probably 200. So anyway, I'm really, really digging them. I liked all of them. They're really good. I even like the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. TV show. A couple of people that I hang out with don't like it. My friend Johnny said it was he said it was the Agents of Suck. He didn't like it. But I did, and Deathlock is in it. I mean, shit. So it was really good. I liked all the movies. I liked Guardians of the Galaxy. A lot of people out there are saying it's just Avengers in space mixed with Star Wars. And yeah, it is. And it's friggin' awesome, dude. It rules, right? So it was really good. So there's been some rumors about how, especially since the North Korea hack out there and Sony's emails got exposed, right? There were some negotiations between Sony and Disney for the rights of Spider-Man. And what it is they want to put Spider-Man in Captain America 3, which is subtitled Civil War. And if you're not familiar with the Civil War storyline, what happens is that there's in the comics, there's the Mutant Registration Act. In the third X-Men movie, they kind of dealt with this a little bit. The Mutant Registration Act, right? Well, what happens is that gets extended to all superheroes. So all being a superhero with a secret identity suddenly becomes illegal. And on one side, you got Captain America doing what, or you got Iron Man doing what the government wants, and then on the other side, you got Captain America basically fighting for freedom, And, hero versus hero, and lots of shit happens, and Spider-Man actually comes out on the side of the government, and he takes off his mask and decides to be Spider-Man, with his public persona, Peter Parker, right? Which, some other shit happens, and he makes everybody in the world forget that he's Peter Parker, but that's different. Anyway, the whole thing, goes on, and it ends with Captain America getting killed. So if they're sticking to that storyline, then that's going to be the plot of Captain America 3, probably. And then probably Winter Soldier is going to take over his cap. At least that's what happens in the comics. So, I would really say, anyway, they're negotiations to get Spider-Man to be in this movie, which I think would just be freaking awesome. A lot of people, there was actually a petition on Reddit where people were saying, sign this petition to keep the guy, what's his name, Garfield, or Andrew Garfield or whatever, who plays Spider-Man in the two Sony Amazing Spider-Man movies, right? They want to keep him as the Spider-Man in Captain America 3. And some other people are saying that's lame because the two Spider-Man movies were stupid. which I didn't think so. I thought the two Spider-Man movies were okay. I mean, here's the thing: is that they were not as good as the Marvel movies, right? They were good though. They were, they were better than the three Sam Raimi movies, Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies, which I thought were all right. I mean, I thought they were okay. The third one was kind of lame, and third one got a little, tired, right? Second one ruled, but anyway. So, but people apparently don't like Sony's movies, and I thought they were, decent enough, right? And I think it'd be kind of awesome to have that sort of meta continuity, if they were to cross it over and keep the same actor as Spider-Man, that would be really awesome. But then, other people are saying that that'd be dumb, or that, like, if they introduce Spider-Man, then, where was he during 2012 and all this shit and blah, 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 blah. And my response to that is, who fucking cares, all right? That's my response. My response is, like, who gives a shit where Spider-Man was? It doesn't matter, Basically, they're saying, well, we have to bring Spider-Man in some other way, and if we try to bring those two movies in, then they don't fit with the continuity of the Avengers, and where was Spider-Man? And who fucking cares, dude? I don't give a shit. All it has to do is not contradict what was in any of the movies, and it's in, as far as I'm concerned. Where was Spider-Man? I don't know. Maybe he was on vacation, maybe he wasn't Spider-Man yet. Maybe he had fucking homework to do or something. He's still a teenager in the movies, right? Who fucking gives a shit? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. All I want to see is I just want to see Spider-Man fighting alongside Captain America, and that would just fucking rule. And the only thing that would be better than that is if Wolverine was in the movie too. That would just kick fucking ass. If they crossed over that would be like my ultimate dream come true, if they crossed these movies over with the X-Men movies and actually had Hugh Jackman in there with, the Wolverine claws. That would be the greatest thing that had ever happened ever. And, because that's the thing, is that they're not gonna get the rights back. That's not gonna happen. I mean, Fox will continue to make X-Men movies until the end of time. They're never gonna get the rights back. We'll have to wait 50 years for that shit to happen. So you might as well try to work them in now as you can if you want to start using X-Men characters in the Marvel. If you want to see X-Men characters in the Marvel universe, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, this is how it's going to happen, right? And I mean, just imagine how awesome that would be if they did come to a deal and they managed to get Spider-Man and they managed to get fucking Wolverine in there. Imagine how fucking cool that would be. I mean, they could do all kinds of awesome shit. They could have Wolverine and the X-Men and X-Men fight the Avengers. They could have Spider-Man in the Avengers. They could do the fucking they could do Secret Wars. That would rule, dude. If they did the Secret Wars as a movie, that would just be the best shit ever. I would have a heart attack. I wouldn't get to see it because I'd have a heart attack and I'd die. And they'd be like, hey Mark, they're making fucking Secret Wars as a movie. I'd be like, what? And I would just fall on the ground dead because I would miss it because I would just be like in so much joy. The joy would just clog up my arteries with joy, and I would just be on the ground rolling around in orgasmic joy, and I would just die, the happiest person ever. So, anyway, this is my message out there to all the executives from Fox and the executives from Sony and the executives from Disney is get together, you guys, and just go and buy a pizza, right, and get some beer, and sit down in an office and just talk about how awesome these movies would be if you fucking guys could just work this shit out. Who cares who gets the money? I mean, just work it out. Maybe you all get a third or whatever. I don't even care, right? I just want to see this happen. Please, 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 pretty please, with sugar on top, make it fucking happen. Adios, folks.